One.
And we are live. Welcome back to the Fit Fuzz podcast, episode 25. And today we're joined by friend of the podcast, very special guest, second appearance, second cap, um, Shannon Biofitness. I can now call you Shannon Biofitness.
Yo.
Um,
Biggest fan, dreams come true. I'm back on.
uh, how are we? How are you getting on? We'll say
Good,
hello to
good.
Kyle in a wee second. We'll say hello to Kyle. The
Yeah,
guest is God on this podcast.
thank you. I'm good. I'm live from my car right now. So if you see anyone coming near me, please let me know. Well, all's good. Everything's going really well. Since joining BioFitness as a coach, like we're just flying and it's lovely.
Oh, love it, love it. Massive smile on your face as well. We'll talk about how the coaching and stuff is going for you in a wee second because there's something else that we need to address. Kyle, massive congratulations. Big news coming from Kyle's camp. Do you want to fill in the rest of the listeners that isn't Shannon?
You know, how last week I said that she thought her waters had broke like 7 weeks early, and I was just saying she's got terrible bladder control. Well, karma very much hit back the following Friday. We'd actually only just recorded this podcast last Friday, and Jen was like, "I'm not feeling well." She was like, "I think I might need to go to hospital." Went to hospital within 7 hours. Waters had broken, and it was very much a case of she's going into labour. I was still convinced at 11 o'clock at night she wasn't going to go. The woman asked me if I wanted a coffee. I was like, nah, I'm all right. I'd see myself getting home. Like, I genuinely thought I was on the way home. At 1 o'clock, as the contraction started, I was like, I'll take that coffee, please. 3 o'clock in the morning, the wee man was born. So, yes, he's very premature. 6 weeks was genuinely a bit touch and go to start off with, but he's flying now. He's breathing himself. He's not needing any support other than the fact he can't feed himself yet. But I'm sure he'll have plenty of years to come where he'll manage to do that. So hopefully he gets home. We'll get him on the podcast next week, maybe.
You're now known henceforth as Da Kyle.
Back it, Jesus.
You're a dad.
You're a big Dilf. Listen, do you want to tell everybody his name?
Finn William Watson is his name.
I quite liked Gary, but you patched that.
Do you know what's funny? Because Jen was in labour and you were texting me going, you know what, Gary's a great name.
Hey, I'm no wrong.
You're not, mate. It's just unfortunately the shortlist was made years ago, and I knew you years ago. You just didn't make it. There was no way to put that on. You didn't make it.
Ah, fair enough, man. Listen, mate, I'm absolutely delighted for you both. I can't wait to jump on a wee plane over and meet the wee man. How has the first week been? How have you adapted to it? I'm assuming little sleep, lots of stress, lots of moving.
To be fair, like he has been looked after in the hospital right now, so it's not like his feeds. They've got him on 3 to 4 hour every 3 to 4 hours. It's not like me and Jen are having to get up in the middle of the night to do it, which is, I suppose, the only benefit of not having him at the house. I'm sure once we get him next week or whenever it is, we are going to be up doing that feed for him. But
Mhm.
I didn't. Me or Jen didn't really sleep on the Friday night. When he was born Saturday at 3 o'clock, so I just stayed all the way right up through the biofitness guys had a photo shoot the next day. I'd literally just Shannon done that, and I turned up for the last half hour of it. I'll touch on that shortly, but just went straight into it, and then just all week it's been a case of catch up. I think it's the stress because at first we didn't know. My mum's been over to help, which has been massive, but it's we didn't know what was happening, so it was just up and down to the hospital. And as much as sleep's been all right, it's not been. You're just catching up on how tired you are, but
Aye.
I'm not allowed. I wasn't allowed to tell people how tired I was, so I'm keeping that
We'll
secret.
let you.
Listen, this is one of the things that's going to come off the back of the wee man being here as well is you can now relate on a personal level to your clients that are parents, which I think for business and for how you help people deal with certain situations is going to be massive.
100%. I'm actually already thinking. Well, I'm thinking before he came. I'm just going to transition all my content to me now pushing that pram like 4K steps before 9 a.m. with a pram and a dog.
Are you a single middle-aged man looking to lose a few pounds before?
Link in bio.
But yeah, anyway, Shannon, I know we said hello to you to start the podcast, but we kind of forgot you were there because we were having a wee chat about baby Finn.
I'm just fangirling here, just part of it.
How how's life for you? How's everything been going since, you know, you came on board with Kyle? How's the coaching side of things? Has it been what you expected, and has it lived up to its kind of expectations? I know I threw like 5 questions at you there, but just go
I
for
try
it.
to remember them. Coaching, like I was a bit scared starting off, and I was like, oh God, can I do this? Like, because I work 9 to 5 as well. I was like, I don't know, but I was like, fuck it, we'll give it a go. And you can't say you didn't try it.
Mhm.
And it's been phenomenal now, to be fair. Like, Kyle's been very patient, very helpful. He's probably getting his head massive right now with all the compliments. But he's been very, very good with me, and it just seems to have taken off now a wee bit, especially with young women and stuff like that. Seems to be where I connect most with. And even there at the photo shoot, like just seeing some of the girls from BioFitness, like how they were so nervous coming up to it. And I was just constantly like, don't be panicking. We got this. Like, and then just seeing how they performed on the day, I was just like, fuck me, this is amazing feeling. Like, just there's nothing like it. I'm
Yeah,
sure like maybe delivering babies and stuff like that is very rewarding, but I find this very rewarding. I was just
I
like, nah, this is it. Like,
100%. You're essentially helping people completely transform their lives for the better, and I completely agree with you as well. Like the feeling that you get from that is unmatched. Just seeing how you have had such a positive impact on people's lives
mm,
is insane. Like it just fills me with so much happiness that I feel like that's the kind of same feeling that you get as well. So much
yeah,
fulfillment.
fulfillment, joy, and just gratitude.
Yeah,
I sound like an
100%.
absolute hippie saying that.
How are you finding the 9 to 5 and the coaching? Because when I started my online coaching again, I was working full time as well. I wasn't quite 9 to 5. I was more like 2 till 10. So it was like back shifts. But I found the pressure of a shitty retail job and trying to start a business at the same time too much for me, that I ended up having to like just quit my job so I could go kind of full on with the coaching. How are you finding that balance so far?
It is tough, like especially like it was tough starting off, and then I got transferred in my 9 to 5 to a different branch, and I was like, well, fuck yous anyway. Like I've just gotten the swing of this, and trying to adapt to that because now I'm commuting up, and like where I'm parking, like I'm getting my steps though. That's the main thing because I have to park 15 minutes away from where I fucking work, for decent pay parking. But yeah, getting up and down, I was like, oh, this is just kind of like it's taking an hour of my day for a commute. Then I'm trying to make sure all my girls are okay. And then I was trying to do my own training, my own steps and cardio. I was like, oh Lord. So my own training and cardio kind of took a wee step back for the photo shoot. But I was happy enough to do that because I just like, no, my girls are very important to me.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, that's an interesting point to touch on as well, because Kyle, you'll have experienced this as well. Like we put so much time and effort into helping other people that sometimes we neglect our own training and our own kind of health, and it takes a bit of a back seat at times. And I hear a lot of people online, especially just now, going, should personal trainers be in shape? Um, and it's up for debate, but sometimes like we put so much time and effort into other people and helping them kind of transform their lives that we do neglect ourselves a wee bit, and we do end up getting slightly out of shape. But that doesn't mean that we are shit at our job or we don't practice what we preach, because we absolutely do. But sometimes, you know, life just gets in the way. And it is kind of those one of those topics that are up for debate. What would you say on that topic, Kyle? Do you believe all personal trainers should be in shape to a certain degree?
So I thought, right, okay, I think you need to be in shape for your relevant market. So to be honest, like if I started trying to coach bodybuilders, there's a good chance they'd not take me seriously because as much as I might be in relative shape for somebody who works in an office or even your average PT, like I'm not going to look like somebody who's been on stage before, and I've not got any evidence to say that I've been on stage before. So I always think you should have walked the path that you're trying to lead people down in the first place. Like if you were trying to run a marathon, I don't need the coach who's coaching me to be able to run a marathon tomorrow, but I need to know at some point they've done it and they like can show you that. And like I always think that they should be in shape to a point. Like there's a difference between somebody who's severely let themselves go. But with that said, I don't need them to have like again washboard abs year round. It probably is a bit of a red flag if they're going from like being super in shape to massively out of shape, and they're doing that consistently. That to me, again, is probably not the way that I would like to do things. But the only other thing I'd add to that is one of the things that grinds my gears is see the likes of your PTs or your coaches who keep signing up to fucking things and go, oh, I'm going to do a photo shoot in 16 weeks. Oh, I couldn't do the photo shoot because, life happened. So, do you know what? We're going to be back better next year. And it's like, fucking, you're 3 weeks in. This is the 15th photo shoot you said you're going to do, and there's still no photo shoot ever done. There's no bodybuilding competition ever done. There's no powerlifting competition ever done. There's no marathon ever done. It's just that I keep saying they're going to do. They keep saying they're going to do things, but don't do it. That's probably what grinds my gears a little bit.
Aye, I completely agree, man. Like, if somebody came to me looking to compete in a powerlifting competition, I would show them, I would be like, nah, I'm not the man for you, because I haven't walked that walk and I do not even know where I would start. But if somebody came to me looking to, build a better relationship with food, wee bit of fat loss, feel better in their own skin, I'm your man. And I definitely think personal trainers should be in shape and market for their kind of niche market, a specific market. Like, I am never ever going to advertise for a powerlifting competition because, one, I'm weak as fuck, and two, I've never ever done one before in my life. Whereas you and Shannon, on the other hand, you can market towards that as well, because you have been there, you have walked that walk, you have talked that talk. Photo shoot as well, like you have done that and stuff as well. So somebody wanted to come to, even all three of us, like if they wanted to come to us and get kind of photo shoot ready, we essentially can do that, even though we're not in photo shoot. Well, I'm not in photo shoot condition right now. I have walked that walk before. And it's definitely
You give yourself a hard time though. You're closing in fucking double body weight numbers in terms of your lifting. You're saying you're weak as fuck. You're saying that you're not.
I was thinking there. I was like, I see you on Instagram.
Nah, he likes to just self-deprecate all the time. Don't feel too sorry for him. But I was going to say he does. He can move a bit more than what he says he can, and he's in better shape than what he thinks he can. He just gives himself the hardest time in the world. But yeah, I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah, you know me, mate. If it's not perfect, it's not enough for me. But that's just a personal thing, and it's funny though, because I tell other people, like, you don't have to be perfect. So sometimes I need to practice what I preach. It's just hard to get out of that mindset mentality when it's been drilled into you for so many years. Like, had I not had you as my coach, Kyle, I would have fucking tapped it a long time ago. Like, you've kept me grounded. You've helped me see things from. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. Like, you've helped me see things from a different point of view, because so many times, like, I think everybody's guilty from it. We get kind of tunnel vision and we can only see it from our point of view. But having somebody in your corner helping you see it from another point of view can really fucking get you out of that wee bubble that you find yourself in.
100%. I'm actually going to go back at the point that and I'll put the question to both of you on this, because you obviously touched about being on shape. Obviously, Shannon, you took the photo shoot last week, and you have both done a photo shoot. Now, Shannon, you've done one twice, but with that, like, the shape that you get in a photo shoot, as much as we all want to like have ideas of holding on to it, very rare you ever actually hold on to that shape. So it's probably fair to say that, like, it is a moment in time, but that's not like those pictures for both of you as coaches, myself included, when I did a photo shoot, the photos that you're going to market showing that this is a result that you can get over time. But it also annoys me when you listen to people going, oh, like, they're not going to be in that shape all year round. I'm like, fucking course not. If somebody runs a marathon, they're not going to be able to run a marathon all year round. It's a moment in time. So just because, like, both of you, again, this question would be, both of you are under the idea that once you hit that kind of photo shoot, that you probably aren't going to hold that exact shape all year round. Would that be fair to kind of say?
I've already lost it. I
Sorry,
have been eating like
was it,
there's
Shannon?
no tomorrow.
It didn't take me long to lose it either, to be fair. I think after the photo shoot, I was away to Ibiza 2 weeks later, and I thought, right, I want to hold this photo shoot body for Ibiza. Did I fuck?
No,
No way.
It never happens that way. And to be fair, like, it's to be expected. You overshoot things for a photo shoot so that you do have a little bit of leeway, but it's very difficult to actually maintain that shape. Obviously, the more skin you have in the game, the more muscle you build over time, the closer and the better shape you'll hold you around. But, like, realistically, I think at the photo shoot I was 77, 78 kilos, whereas I'd normally, like, my my kind of set point at the moment's between 82 and 84. Probably now having a child, it's probably going to be about 102. But there is that. Shannon, what's this week looked like in terms of your nutrition?
To be fair, actually, like I got no training done, but I'm off track. I'm off training, so that was the plan.
Yeah.
But nutrition, I kind of still stuck to my same meals, really. Like I had the exact same breakfast, nothing wild. Had the exact same lunch as I do every day in work, and similar dinners that I usually eat. It was just more snacks. I got more croissants in there. I got more cookies in there. I was just living my best life in that sense. So now I'm a bit chunky and funky again, and I love it.
I was going to say we probably will put more of a. Have I messaged you for your plan for next week already? Did I get that to you over?
Uh, you just put up my calories on my training for next week, but that was it.
Oh, that's fine. That's all we need to do. Your calories and
That's all I need to know.
as long as you have some,
Plan's there.
as long as you have guidelines for next week that there's not any subjectivity about how many cookies you can get away with. As long as you know what that is, then that's fine. The start of the week was a blur when I was sending these things out, so I can't remember if I did or I didn't. So I'm glad I did.
I'm covered, don't worry.
Just like to apologise to the listeners there whilst Kyle and Shannon had a mini check-in live on air.
Fucking apologise for that. This is our podcast. We do.
First time I'm properly talking to him, all right? He's been a busy man.
And
Oh, there you go.
Shannon, drive responsibly when you're in that car, all right?
It is.
God, there was something I was going to touch on there about the kind of being photo shoot ready. Oh, this is how the influencer fit-fluencer bastards get you. So they'll get in incredible shape for a photo shoot, and then they'll take a year's worth of photos in that photo shoot, and that's the photos that they'll use, pretending that they're in that shape all year round, so they can sell you their stupid ab fucking workout program. Do 1,000 crunches a day to look like this. Do 9 sets of kickbacks a day so you can get a bum like me. They don't look like that all year round. They don't look like that for half the year. They don't look like that for a quarter of the year. They get into incredible shape, take all the photos, and then use them 365 days a year to rope you in. It's clever marketing, and we spoke about clever marketing. I think it was last week we spoke about it. And that's another very clever marketing technique. Take a year's worth of photos in one go, just change your clothes. It's very, very clever marketing. So don't fall for that clever marketing. We don't want to go down that marketing rabbit hole again. So yeah, I'll leave that one there.
I do like I just to help people kind of for what, because I think what we do is a very, albeit we've touched on the very start how much value you can give to someone. With that said, it's a very difficult market to actually choose the right coach, because I don't know about you guys, but I've certainly been stung in the past by going to different coaches and thinking this is a lot of shite. And to be fair, a lot of coaches I felt like I'd done due diligence with and looked at it and went, this is absolutely horrendous. I'd be better doing things by myself before. Whereas the opposite is true. And I found someone who, actually a few people who've been very, very good. And I went, well, there is a lot of value in this and they probably weren't charging enough. But I think there is a middle point to that where it's like you do want to find someone who has walked the walk before. Ideally, you don't want someone who's literally living a 10-year career off of one day that they looked good, not to dismiss that. But then there is also the opposite where you get the empathetic coach where they constantly just talk about how it's okay to be you, it's okay to be the way you are. And whilst I am here for that, like, growth comes from being outside your comfort zone, and sometimes you do need to be told, you know what, actually maybe not eating your feelings all the time might be a good shout, and maybe looking for coping strategies that's slightly better outside that might actually lead to a wee bit of growth, as opposed to saying, oh, you don't need to worry about how you look, the scales, going to the gym. Like, you can put all the things you don't need to worry about to the side, but realistically, I think the balance is somewhere in between. I think whilst those things do matter, they shouldn't be the be all and end all, and you shouldn't very much fixate on those things. But at the same time, it shouldn't be somebody living off, like, because he got in shape that one time, they end up becoming that uncle at the party who keeps on telling you about that one time that he scored the goal like from the halfway line.
I completely agree. And you know, like, a lot of people think personal training is just make a gym plan and that's it. But it's a lot more. It's a lot more personal. It's pretty much why it's called personal training. You go a lot deeper than just helping someone in the gym. You help someone with a home life. You can help someone with a sex life, just something you don't physically help them with a sex life, but you can help improve it.
I was
What
gonna
kind of
say,
courses do you be doing, Gary?
is that the secret menu, Gary?
Just I was just showing you to the level that personal training actually can go. It isn't just all about what you can and can't do in the gym, how much you can and can't lift in the gym, etc. It's a lot more. There is a lot more to it, and finding the right person and the right fit for you is very important. And if you can find someone that has kind of walk to walk before, then yeah, you're already off to a flying start. But if you do go with a personal trainer, same as like Kyle has, and been stung and thought like I'm not getting anything from this, don't be scared to, cut things off because it's no fucking worth it.
I agreed. I always think on at the very least you want to see from somebody is they care and they try.
Mhm.
If they have those two things, like it doesn't like obviously we can probably see how good a coach is because we know what we're looking for. But like if the very two basic fundamentals are do they care and do they try. And if those two things are ticked in, you're essentially on to a good path. That's the only
Right.
two things I would add to that. Too many people.
100%. I completely agree. Anything you want to add, Shannon?
I have a really bad chest infection. Come along, guys. Wait for you to talk. I was like, don't cough, don't cough. No, I 100% agree. Like, I've been myself stung, not by coaches, but like gym plans, 6 week shreds and like all this kind of stuff. And I'd like constantly just be signing up to them and like look a wee bit better, but I wouldn't look like the way that the fucking posters were showing me. And I'd be like, oh, maybe next time, next 12 weeks, I'll get it this time. And I remember going to one in particular, and there was like this guy that was coaching us, and he basically told a girl she didn't do good enough. And that was the last time I went to it. I was like, no, you can't say that. Like, she's after putting her heart and soul into this for 12 weeks, and she wasn't good enough to get her photo taken, is what he did. And I said, no, that's the end of this crack for me.
Mm.
Like, that's not how you should treat people. Like, and she was heartbroken.
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories, especially like from people in, like 12X and stuff, of coaches that they've been with, and the coaches are literally saying like, get off your fat ass and get moving and stuff. And I'm like, can I fucking speak to people like that?
No,
That
you
that
can do it
is
in your normal job. Like, I couldn't say
yeah.
to a fucking customer, get the fuck out. Like,
I know. But that's one way to, make people do the opposite of what you're trying to get them to do.
yeah,
Um, Me personally, I've like when I've experienced kind of growing up, people commenting on my body or physique and stuff, I go straight to food. Like I go straight to the fridge. I don't go, right, this is going to make me go out and go to the gym and go for a run. I'm straight in that fridge and eating my feelings. So coaches and stuff saying that to their clients, you're probably having the opposite effect of what you think you're doing. Yes, people need to hear the truth, whether they like it or not, but there's ways to go about telling people what they need to hear. And by you being an absolute see you next Tuesday, probably not the best way to do it.
no. It's
I'm
like them motivational videos. You ever see them on Instagram? And it's just like, you're having the opposite effect
Yeah.
to me. Like, I do not want to do this.
Yeah, 100%.
How much do you want it? Not that much, all right?
Aye. That fucking winds me up as well. You don't want it enough. Yes, they do. Everybody wants it enough. They just need the right guidance and they need the right support.
I remember the one, I don't know if you remember back in the day where it was like the guy was talking about like he took the guy out to water and he put his head under the water and he's like he held him for like long enough till he was about to drown and he's like, see at that moment where you're about to drown and all you want is air. He's like, that's how much I need you to want this. Like I'm going to start doing that for like any client set up. I'm like, right, I'm going to go meet you in the beach. Am I going to go? I'm give you
Initiation.
That's fine until it goes wrong, and all of a sudden you've got a bit of an insurance claim there from the family. Like,
Uh,
what happened to Donald? I'm like, well, he didn't
You
want
didn't want it enough.
aye, aye.
Um,
Have you seen this shit online? I think it's just happened in the last few weeks, like this alpha male boot camp thing. Have you seen any videos of that?
I don't,
Yeah.
Have
I
you
don't,
seen them? It's like
Oh,
guys,
so toxic.
of course it's in America. Of course it is because it wouldn't be anywhere else. But like these guys are paying like between. I'm going to just use random numbers here because I don't know the exact number. So between 15 and 30 grand, right, somewhere in that region, to have other guys that have like ex-military men shouting in their face to become more masculine and be a man.
It just baffles me. It
I
really,
know.
oh, they grind
Can,
my gear, things like that. Like anything, it's like be a man, man up, all that kind of stuff. I'm
yeah.
like,
Can you
fuck me, we're in 2024. Like,
can you imagine if our clients paid us an exorbitant, is that a word? A
Yeah.
ridiculous amount of money to scream in our face, stop beating, get skinny, get running. Like it's what the fuck are you doing? Like it's not going to work.
Imagine having to tell your children that I pretty much paid your college fee to go somewhere to get shouted at by a group of men to be more of a man.
I
Like,
know.
it'll make
and
it
you're
more.
half naked for it as well. Like, don't they like get one with nature and these things and shite?
So, yeah, I like see when it comes to external, like as in like that extrinsic motivation where people do shout at you. Like I've never responded well to that. I typically
No.
do the opposite, where I'll be like, fuck you. Like I'll go and do my own thing and I'll do it better than you. I'll see you here in a year and see who's winning. But with that said, I think that short term it can help, as in like it can help certain people. Like external motivation can help, but it can help with adherence, but it definitely doesn't help long term motivation or long term adherence. So I think it typically has the opposite effect. And when you're then shouting at somebody for not being good enough and it's constantly reinforcing you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, it tends to have like a damaging effect long term as well. So like as much as in their head they're trying to get you to adhere to something short term. But what happens after this 6, 8, 12 week thing is finished and you've not got somebody screaming at you saying that you're not good enough and all that carry on? You've essentially got a result based on the fact that you've been told you're not good enough to get it in the first place. You needed somebody shouting at you. What happens then? I'm not naming any names or anything, but I had a woman during lockdown who, like, this is before I was doing proper online, right? I was just sending people like workout videos and stuff for me in my kitchen. But there was a girl who was like, I really need to do it, but like I think 3 weeks in, she's like, no, I need you to message me every night and shame me into doing it. Like she was being legit. And I was like, I just messaged her going like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, I'm not going to make you feel like that because as much as yeah, that might work short term, it's not going to help long term. So there obviously are different things that different people need, but I definitely would be very much not in the camp of I think it's poor coaching just to tell somebody that like it's easier to be angry, it's easy to be annoyed, it's easy to blame somebody else, but that's not good coaching.
Yeah, 100%. Completely agree. Speaking of good coaching, I know you've been stung in the past with like bad coaches, but I've actually only ever had one coach in my whole entire life. And it seems to be working. So if you could get lucky like me and find that one person that can keep you grounded and tell you things that you do need to hear when you need to hear them in an appropriate manner, then yeah, you've lucked out for sure. And stick with that person for as long as possible. Because it's only going to benefit you in the long run and try and learn from them as much as possible as well.
I would agree with this, and I'm also going to say my own experience on that. So as much as I've had my own a coach, like I said, I've had multiple coaches um when it comes to fitness. And as I said, I've not had the best experience, particularly with the first couple of them. When it came to business coaching, that was a whole new thing. And the first coach I actually had, they were doing what they said in the tin. And there's, of course, when you go into these things, there's like a 12-month commitment and you're paying 550 quid a month or whatever it was for it. So like it is what it was, and it was doing what it was saying it was going to do for me. But at the same time, it's like I very much was a number. And I was like, I just through that, I was like, I was kept on thinking the grass was greener somewhere else. And to a large extent, always look at what they're actually giving you in the first place. Are they getting you the result that you want in the first place? Because realistically, that's the most important thing. But there is a lot to be said about being valued as a person. That's why I go back to like you want to make sure that like they at least care and they're trying. And if they're not that and you just seem like a number, then even if you are getting the result, you're probably not going to stay that long.
Yeah.
But there is always even no matter how good the coach is, there is always going to be, if you've not got massive experience, there is always going to be that, is the grass greener a lot of the time? And the answer could be yes and no. If you're fortunate enough that you've got a good result, the person who seems to be caring enough about you and whatever your goals are, then I would very much go, I think you're onto something good, because it won't take you long to then discover that if you go somewhere else, you're probably not going to get that in a large amount of time. Actually, you probably find that you're going to be spending even more money to have someone who's shite.
Yeah. To touch on the business mentor side of things as well, like, you know, I get out with a car salesman pitch, and I bought into my first ever business mentor, on the premise of do what we tell you to do, and you'll have X amount of money in 3 to 6 months. And just like what they were asking me to do wasn't how I wanted to approach my business. It wasn't how I wanted to approach marketing. It wasn't how I wanted to sell myself. And I spent a lot of money on this. I used every penny I had in my savings to pay for, I think it was like a 6 month membership, just on the promise of, like, if you follow what we tell you to do, you will triple your money, something along those lines. And if you don't, we will refund you fully. But the catch to that was I had to do exactly what they were telling me to do. But like I say, it just wasn't, for me morally, it just didn't align with what I wanted to do and how I wanted to be. So it was, you know, it was a tough one to accept, but I ended up, I think I only lasted like 3 months, and I said to him, like, I am out, I'm done. And I didn't see a penny of that back. But I had to just kind of suck it up and learn from that mistake, and use it as education and be like, right, let's not make this mistake again. So now I'm more wary around business mentors. Found another one who's absolutely class, complete polar opposite to the first one that I did have. I think I wouldn't even call the first one a business mentor. I would just call it a marketer. Do you know what I mean? It was more a marketing thing rather than an actual mentor. Um, but I rather than being completely put off, I used it. I used it as a, what's the word I'm looking for? A lesson, shall we say? I used it as a lesson, and learned off the back of it, and that's just the exact same way like personal trainers and stuff too. If you find a shitty one, we'll know all the same. I can promise you that people do care, or PTs do care more than others. Some PTs just care about getting another zero on the end of their bank account, and yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, then fucking go for it, but don't kind of bring the rest of the industry down with you because you're a fucking dick.
I've got plenty of zeros at the start of mine. That's a problem. It sounds the wrong way.
Aye, 100%. I think I've got a wee minus at the start of mine as well.
Do you know what, mate? Like, I actually went on to like Stripe as a platform that we use to like for client payments and stuff. And I looked at it the other day and it was like, you've got a negative balance. I'm like, but I
Aye.
can't spend money from Stripe. How can I have a negative balance from somewhere that is only incoming payments? How can I owe money to something that's like takes payments for? I don't understand this. It's like minus 10 quid. I'm like, how do I owe my payment platform a tenner? I can't even
Mate,
fucking spend money for it.
I'm the same. I get like minus 189. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Don't know. Like yeah, it is what it is, but that's why I'm going to have to be punting myself this weekend. You're going to see me with all the offers. Going to be like, yeah, we'll get you
Brilliant.
shredded in 2 days.
Yes, and you'll hold that shape all year round.
Yeah. You know how you can tell that like someone's good at what they do as well? Like, so Shannon actually said to me last week, she was like, Kyle, I'm actually looking at doing this course, not because I have to, but more so because I'm interested in like being better and stuff. And there was one in particular where she's going to find out about like again women's menstrual cycles and training and all that. And I'm like, that's fucking spot on. The fact that she's done that, I've not pushed her towards that. It's like she's very much decided by herself. She's going to go and do that. So no matter what happens to Shannon, I'm like, she'll do it.
Love that.
Independent woman.
Love that. Yeah, you'll be hiring Kyle soon because he'll need a
I'll
second
actually
job.
own BioFitness. That's the game plan. I'll actually take it all from make it
Well,
more.
you can own the minus money that seems to be happening at the moment. You're absolutely more than welcome to inherit that if you like.
I can contribute to that minus.
Yeah, I'd say you can, all right.
What's the right, Shannon? What's the plan? Is your end goal to become like full-time coach, or are you planning on staying in work as well as coaching?
If I could come full time now, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd quit my 9 to 5 in an absolute heartbeat because it doesn't serve me the way this serves me now.
Mhm.
But obviously, bills have to be paid. Me and Adam are saving towards buying our first home and stuff like that. So I have to keep all that in the back of the mind too, like on the future for the next couple of months and that.
Yeah.
But I want to just keep progressing. Like I go into a few different courses now in the next couple of weeks just to, because I came across that one for women's health and I was like, that is something I need to know, even for a personal perspective of it. Like, understand my cycle, understand my gut health, all this stuff. I was like, I don't really get it. Like, so all them type of little courses, I'm going to just keep going, learn as I keep going along, and eventually, when the time is right, bye bye 9 to 5.
Oh yes, I cannot wait for that time to come. It's going to be so liberating. Like you're going to
Yeah.
feel like a new person. And again, that's talking from experience when because I was working for M&S. You guys get M&S, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, but only in like posh enough areas. I don't think we
yeah,
have them close to us.
it's like the fucking world's most expensive supermarket. But yeah, like I was staying in M&S just because like me and Rach obviously wanted to buy our first house. But just
Congratulations.
thank you. Get the keys on Friday. I'm so buzzing.
Friday.
But
That's happening. It's happening quick.
very quick, mate. Very quick.
House
What was
party
that?
Saturday. House party Saturday. Is that what that is?
Aye. We need electrics. We'll just I'll put the phone. I'll put the light on my phone, and we can
Mate,
just.
we've got light till about 9 o'clock in the evening.
Actually, as saying that our house parties will probably be done by 9 o'clock at night. The way because we're getting sold.
I'm a lightweight. I'll be drunk by then. It'll be fine. Be all right.
Um, fuck. I lost my train of thought. Oh, aye. So like, obviously, it was a big decision to make to actually hand my notice in because going self-employed, you need 2 years worth of books and all that carry on before you can
Yeah.
apply for a mortgage. So we actually sacrificed, or I sacrificed, being able to apply for a mortgage sooner, just from a mental health standpoint of view, because juggling both at the same time was awful. But I knew I wanted to go down the, personal training and coaching route. And I wasn't willing to give that up so soon after starting it to focus fully on M&S because M&S was actually it was making my mental health worse. So I spoke to Rachel about it and I was like, look, I need to do this just for me essentially. And honestly, the best decision I've ever made in my life. Yes, it delayed us buying a house. We had to kind of stay with Rachel's parents for a wee bit longer. But in the grand scheme of things, staying with Rachel's parents for a wee bit longer or mental health gone right down the toilet, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And yeah, like best decision I've ever made. And then obviously I got a proper locked out by getting the job in the gym as well. And that's what's helped kind of propel me or propel us forward in the housing market. And now we're on the ladder. Now we are property
Own
owners.
property.
So yeah, like once you make that decision, you're honestly it's going to be absolutely incredible for you. And I'm
Yeah.
excited for you to go through it.
Oh, I can't wait. Like, there's people still kind of nag you, being like, is that the right decision? It's a good pension job you have. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it's killing me slowly. Like,
You'll not make a
could I do
pension.
40 years? I don't think so.
No, actually, there's one of the things that it goes full circle here because you talked about how coaching can be more than just like again the general fitness things and how deep you go into things. I think when we had the discussion about M&S and stuff, not saying that I said pack your job in, but I think it was very much encourage you to go, yeah. And to be fair, there wouldn't be the first time that I've had a conversation with somebody. It's like I think maybe looking at the job, the options you have, and maybe removing yourself from that environment maybe is the best way to do it. And to be fair, I've done it myself as well. When I moved over here, to get a house over here, you need I think it's 3 years worth of books being self-employed. So I did start off self-employed, and then the situation Jen and I were in living with my parents were like, we need to get a house. So I came out of coaching for about 6 months to get going to say get a real job. The only time I've had a real job in my life. So I worked for the man. I was in an office and I was doing it for 6 months. I passed my probation, and then I realised I was like, not only do I hate my living environment, I hate my working environment. And it's like the mortgage even we were getting when it was approved, it was like the process of taking so long. And I'm like, I can't hold on to this. Like, I genuinely can't. So spent another 3 years dealing with the fact that I burned the boats with it and went, like, we're not going to get a house for 3 years, but I can deal with the fact that at least I can enjoy my working environment for a period of time. That it means that when I do get the mortgage, I was going to say, we bought a house that needs to be renovated. I'm telling you, I'll be renovating that to the fucking day I die. But like, it's very much was worth it for me. So when it's coming to like Shannon packing her job in, there will be a conversation had at the time it's right. It's not the right time right now for that to happen. And obviously that's a dynamic thing where we can have that chat. But I think very much we are road mapping out a strategy so that Shannon has the option to do it when she wants to do it. And I'll be buzzing for her the day that it happens. But realistically, we don't want to walk out of one stress into another stress right now. It's like, I think we also don't want
Gotta
Shannon.
pay the rent.
Exactly.
Would you not talk about jumping on OnlyFans for a wee bit? Was that not a conversation?
Oh, that was a consideration at one point, except did you ever see that video of like this girl and she was like pretending to do OnlyFans and she was in her snuggie? I was like, that would be me. No one would buy into this. I'd just be there being like, hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. And yeah, it wouldn't take off.
I've always worried about, like, you know, those people who have like very little success on OnlyFans, like the ones who it's like they've put their gooch out there, but they've actually not made the money that comes with it. And I'm like, now enough people have seen you, but you've not made the money for it. So I'm like, you're now at a point where you've essentially just fucked yourself, quite literally, for nothing. Like literally nothing. You've made no money from it, and everybody's seen your hoop. That's unfortunate.
I went to school with a girl. She was in the year below me who started on OnlyFans as well. Don't know if she's still on it. I don't know if she's successful from it or whatnot, but she does a lot of traveling, so I think it might be going well.
You don't know,
Might
but
be.
you're still paying $12.99 a month. Is that what?
That's where the minus of my stripes coming from.
Fair enough.
Here's a fun fact though. OnlyFans was originally made for the fitness industry for COVID.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it wasn't actually made for that kind of platform. It was made for coaches to do their online business and like have their videos during COVID and stuff like that, training programs and that. And then someone discovered they didn't have restrictions on like the type of content you put on it. So someone just said, I'm just getting me fucking vagina out here and see what happens. And now that's
And
what it
then the founder of OnlyFans was like, "Whoa!" laughing to the bank. But yeah, just touching quickly on or briefly on the job thing. No job in the history of this fucking world is worth your health. So just kind of touching on what you were talking about, Kyle, like obviously you had this very, very deep conversation with me when I was in M&S. Like if you are in a position where your job is affecting you both mentally and physically, it might be time to start looking elsewhere because no, your health is your wealth. And no matter how much zeros you've got when you stick your pin into the ATM when you get your bank card in it, that doesn't mean shit if you are mentally unwealthy.
Can't agree anymore. I think when you spend so much time somewhere that's draining your soul, it's only going to be a matter of time before that has overspilled to absolutely everything else in life. And I got to the point personally when I was in that job that I was in that I was dealing with Americans and you were just dealing with problems all day. I actually couldn't even watch American TV programs and stuff. I was like, I just can't deal with listening to Americans. It was nothing to do with Americans, just the fact that I was like in my head going, I'm associating that with just problems right now. And I got to that point where I just needed to, like, as much as I talk about, like, speak to people every day, all day right now, and you're dealing with problems, it's very different. Like, as much as some days I'm like, I just need to not speak to anybody for a wee bit. Like, at the end of that old office job I had, I was sitting in a dark room. Like, I was like, I can't deal with the level of stress. And that was for 6 months. I know people need to do what they need to do. For the fact that like there is a point where it's like there is going to be an element of sacrifice at one point to get an outcome. But with that said, if that sacrifice is now becoming too much, and it's the outcome is no longer. There is always different ways of getting what you want. So I think very much looking at what you're doing versus what it's actually providing you with. A lot of time people have self-doubt when they're just in somewhere too long. It's like, well, I can't do anything else now. I'm like, you always can. Like you absolutely always can.
Yeah, there's always a choice. Always a choice, and it's important to remember that.
Yeah, agreed. I just tried to stab a lighter with a screw, and I didn't realise that that possibly could have been a recipe for disaster. I could have just blown up on the podcast live there.
That would have been fantastic if that had
Would have got
happened.
views.
The biggest issue is it's me that's recording it, so you need to trust me to upload it. But
Oh yes, I didn't think of that.
Aye, with no hands.
you can still do a podcast with no hands, just roll parts.
I just can't upload the fucking recording to Spotify.
It's okay, I'm in my car. I'll just drive over.
I was going to say, see, because your black background is blood, I actually didn't know if you were driving at first, but it's actually all the cars going by you. That's why I was like,
Yeah, no, I'm parked. I'm sensible. I just don't want you to see the lovely coccyx that I'm in right now, so I just blurred it out.
To be fair, it is sunny outside, so it does look like you could be in San Diego or something rather than Cox's. That's probably
Coccyx in Dundalk.
Does look good. It does look good.
Warm, I tell you that. Jumper was not the one for this morning.
See, the problem is the wind, though. The wind, see,
Yeah.
because it's like you think you trust it. I'm looking outside right now and going, that looks like a lovely day, and then you step outside and it's like, fuck, that's there. My nipple's getting hard. That's no need
Aye.
for that, yeah.
Mate, that hike yesterday, like I was shorts and t-shirt the majority of the way up, and then we came round the side of the mountain, and it was open to like the lock, and we just got pelted with this like ice cold wind. It went from shorts and t-shirt weather to like -8 as you came round this corner, and the layers went on. Fingers went numb. Could barely eat my wee Rice Krispie Squares bar because I couldn't open the packet. It was mental. It's always a wind that gets you. It's not the actual temperature. It's that fucking daft wind chill.
That's wind chill. You get like one day a year where the sun's out and you're like, fuck, there's no wind, and that's a great day, but like one day a year.
It's a bad day for hanging a wash in it, but it's a good day for getting a shorts and t-shirt on.
Thinking man's game.
Mate, if you get anything else you want to talk about, or can I tell you what I fucking woke up to this morning and it's winding me up?
I'm gonna caveat this with two things. There's nothing that I need to add. I've got about 4 minutes before I need to jump on a different call. So
That's cool.
If you can fit it in 4 minutes, and as long as you're not talking about you found a boner for the first time in a while, but then yeah, you're good.
No, I woke up this morning and I put my tracky bottoms on to go out for my walk, and one of the wee zip things has came out from the pocket, and I can't get it back in, and it's fucking every time I go to zip my pocket up, it's just going up one side of the zip, and it's really testing my patience. And I was sitting on the couch this morning in my boxers, trying to feed the teeth back in, scared in case Rachel's mum and dad walked down the stair. And now I gave up with this morning so I could go for my walk, but now I found it again. See, that way I've forgotten about it, and now
Yeah.
I've found it again, and it's starting to grind my gears
Can
again.
it be fixed? There's the question. Can it be fixed?
It's just the teeth. The wee teeth has just popped out of the wee, what do you
Right.
call it, the actual zip thing. So I just need to get somebody to hold it whilst I zip it.
I've got the similar situation. It's my favourite pair of joggy bottoms. On the North Face ones, they're waterproof, which has been needed for the last fucking year. But the bottom, see where you zip up where the ankles are, the
Yes.
same thing's happened, and I've been trying for fucking weeks to fix this. But I've just accepted that there's going to be two looks. Either look like I'm wearing flares because they're like wide open, or I'm
Which are in.
which are in at the moment, but also not great when the wind's kicking about because you get a wee chill in the ankle.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, where I'm tucking them into my socks, which is also problematic because you look like a wee dafty.
Taking you back to the teenage years growing up in Glasgow.
It very much takes me back, yeah, but it's devastating when it happens. Like,
Aye,
I have a
100%.
solution for both problems.
go on.
Yep.
Leggings. Don't need pockets, nothing. Just on you and you're gone.
Thank you
Aye.
very much for tuning in to Fit with us today, guys. On that note,
I do not have the junk to fit into leggings. I would look like I've shit at an appy.
Well, I'm jealous.
I've got
I'm
an
still trying to grow a bunda here.
I've got an unfortunate pair of joggy bottoms, the
Oh,
PSG joggy bottoms,
I like.
that are skin tight that look like leggings, but I just don't feel comfortable in them. I just feel like I'm like one of those people that go to gyms and hang about in latex and stuff.
Yeah.
Or lycra, even not latex. That's weird. But yeah, I feel like that. Like
Aye. Love that. Love that. I just got all very dark all of a sudden because my light just died. So that's probably a sign to wrap things up and get you off to your other call.
yes, Gary, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at gmac_health and fitness. Kyle, where can they find you?
What's new? It's Kyle_biofitness1 on
Yeah.
Instagram, and that's about the
Yes.
only place. Shannon, where can they find you?
It is, I'm pretty sure it's Shan with 2 N's _ biofitness.
Sure, you'll not
As
go far wrong.
Let's hope so.
well, as always, I'll post the links to our Instagram in the description of the Spotify episode and the YouTube video. So yeah, you can find us there. But Shannon, thank you so much for joining us from your car in sunny Dundalk.
Yeah, way.
I'm on the time.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Hopefully, we'll get you back on very, very soon. And yeah, thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next week, eh?
Thanks for coming. Bye.